Century Superhuman. And I know that the answers are inside. Yeah, I am a 21st Century Superhuman. Now is the time. Come on everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the...
Hi, I'm Carrie Ellis, author of 21st Century Superhuman. I want to thank you all who've been following along in this Plasma at Home series. This is a really great baseline for learning how to use plasma at home and getting resources in your home that can give you plasma there right now. We have a really special offer going on, which I'm so excited to share with you. And some of you have already been getting your water stations, and that is so great. And some of you have been sending me questions, and we've been answering those. We've had an extension beyond October 31st till November 11th. November 11th, the coupons are still good. This offer is still good, and these videos are still available. So you've got 10 more days, and I talked to Dr. Paul and Lynn because I had so many delays because of dental things I've had going on that it just kind of kept me from getting things done at the rate that I usually like to. So excited. They gave us an extension. It's really freezing cold winter up in Montana, so they're in their winter shipping mode. I'm so excited for those of you who are getting your water stations, and I'm so excited to share with you this part 2 of Plasma at Home. So let's look at some slides. This is a really beautiful design a lady drew for me without even really knowing that much of what plasma was, but I gave her just an idea. And so we have many hands with plasma all over the world, and we're inviting you to be part of that. So 21stCenturySuperhuman.com, which is kind of rising from the ashes soon here. We have Plasma Revolution and Plasma at Home. We'll have member classes to teach you more in-depth details of how to do all of it, which is very exciting. And there's also going to be a lot of other things there, like Jedi training, super healthy lifestyle, how to make CBD edibles, and a number of things like that. So travel with us to exotic places, exciting power places. So this is very cool. The other thing I'd like to mention is if you are getting our emails, be sure and put Carrie at 21stCenturySuperhuman.com in your contact so you don't miss any emails. I know some people complained to me that my emails weren't getting put over into their promotional file. Be sure and add Carrie at 21stCenturySuperhuman.com to your contacts so that you don't miss any of our emails. To repeat again, the date has been extended until November 11th for all these videos to be for free and for the coupons to be available. So this is the extended offer, the plasmaenergysolution.com. It'll be coupon 919 until November 11th. This is the water that we drink. This is our water at our home. It is a plasma water station, so we have a big 5-gallon jug, and around it we have about 30 vials from the plasmaenergysolution.com basic preparedness kit and other GANS formulas. We feel that our water is very structured, very potentized, beautiful, delicious water. I mean, friends come to our house and the first thing they do when they walk in is say, "Can we have some of your water?" And they walk over to the water station. It's very cute. What we can see here is there's a big ball at the center of this. This was frozen, like a big bowl. And then it has the rays going out from it that show the structure of this field. And this is seeing it from the side. You can see the beautiful ball that is in there that's made with the resonance going off of it. What I love about this is it is actually kind of a heart shape. And when we are formed in uterus, the first thing that happens when our heart starts to beat is a torus field is formed. So it's that life coming together. And remember, the torus field is the form that plasma takes when it is the electromagnetic fields are putting life and creation together. And then we literally live in a 12 to 15 foot torus field our whole life. And it's why when we meet people, we feel them, we're interchanging with them. And it's so important to breathe, smile, and love, because these are the things that we are giving resonance of in our field. Again, you can see how beautiful this heart is with the ball at the core of it. So I always feel like when I freeze ice from our station, I'm getting a smaller view of it than I'd like. So I thought, I'm going to try freezing a bucket of water. We took everything out of our freezer and put a bucket of our water in there. And it took 3 days to freeze because the plasma water doesn't freeze easily. That's another really important thing to remember. One of the things that we've been taught about modulating the temperature in our house is to hang up pieces of nano-coated copper around the windows to help keep it more warm in the wintertime, or to have a lot of plasma-fied water around. It helps equalize the temperature. So this is me holding it, and I'm holding it with gloves, that big piece of frozen ice, because it's kind of hard to manage. But there's an artistry to looking at this ice also. We can get it out and we can just take pictures of it right away, but we also let it melt down. And through its different phases of melting, you'll get to see different dimensions of what's in there. So this is the ball we're looking at the center that is like, it is a torus field. So that ball at the center, and then all the little beautiful rays coming out from it that we know hold all these energetic patterns. And there's more of the energetic patterns, getting to see those close up. What I'd like you to notice here is you've got the ball at the base, and then there's another field going out around that. This whole layer here is another field. So along the top, you can see the top edge of that field line. Really beautiful. And there it is again, seeing the whole field and the ball at the center. And this is a crack along the edge, but it's also an area where you literally see a twisting going on as the freezing happens. And we really often see that twisting when we make frozen water from our water station. And again, there's the ball at the center, the beautiful fields going out from it. It's just really wonderful. A wonderful experiment to see what your water is doing. This is just gorgeous. You can kind of see that plasma light along the top of it, and the ball, and then the fields around it. So it just gives you an idea of what kind of potency this water from the water station has. Now let's remember, Mr. Kesh says, we need to learn to think beyond the matter state. And that's a really important thing to remember in all of this. So we live outside the US, and we just received a whole bundle of different formulas in the pad form from Lynn and Dr. Paul. We're so excited to have them. This is one of our health pens made out of nano-coated copper lying next to them. They're so beautiful, and we just really enjoyed getting them. And so this is what one pad looks like, and the message is on it. Place one pad on each side of a clear or plastic pitcher for an hour before using. Add water. So this is two pictures, one going one direction and one going the other direction. But in our spare room, we have set up all these different bottles. I bought these plastic bottles because they were what I could get here. And on each side, I couldn't even find rubber bands. So I had a roll of elastic. So I just tied it, made little loops, and then put it around the bottles with the pads on each bottle. Now, as these potentize, now somebody might say, well, they're sitting right next to each other. Aren't the fields going to overlap? Well, yeah, the fields probably are going to overlap. Is that the end of the world? No, because there is a focus there. There's a focus there and an intention and a certain field strength. And as that potentizes that water with that intention, why would we make them all separately? Well, if I had somebody walk in and say, I have a headache, I can give them a pad that is kind of focused around headache. Or if I have a friend who's got Lyme, I can give her a pad that's focused around that. One of my friends here, who though is really smart, and she's getting plasma stuff from me all the time, and she probably has more of my old plasma stuff than I do because I'm always giving it away. She said, well, just take a little bit out of each bottle and put it in one bottle for me, and we'll write on that bottle all the things that are in it, and then I'll have all those formulas. She gets it. She gets that it doesn't have to be that complicated. It doesn't have to be that distinctive. We're basically dealing with concentrating field, loving them, being able to use them, and I will do the same thing. I'll take some out of each of these bottles. I'll make an individual vial, and I'll put it with my water station. Or maybe I'll do some separate ones. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But right now, we're in the potentization process. I'm sure they're all good. They've been in there overnight. So we've got some beautiful formulas for different purposes to help support our bodies and our well-being. And so these are just some different pictures of them. I wrote on the top of each one what it was: frequency relief, eye, So I had a lady ask me, she said, I just want to see your GANs. And I don't know if she's watched the videos, but these are some of my GANs I have here at home. These are actually about a year old and I use out of the bottles all the time. And then I just refill them. And guess what I refill them with? I refill them with our station water. So that means they're getting a really potentized lot of plasma fields in there with each of these GANs. So on the very left, we have CO2 GANs, which is a little more creamy colored. To the right of it is the white one, which is zinc, ZNO, and it's always pretty white. And then next to that, we have copper. My copper color has faded a little bit from the really bright turquoise, but it's a good copper GANs. And then to the right is CH3 or iron GANs that I made with actually a nail and nano-coated copper. So these are beautiful. We love having them in our home. They're very exciting. Even if you do get your own water station, I encourage you at some point, even if you do it with us with our classes, that you do make your own GANs. It's a great experience. And it's a learning. It immerses us in this new science, but it does take a little effort. Not everybody is ready to take the time and do kind of a new sort of science experiment. However, it's a really, really fun thing to do. So I want to show you these. We also make nano-coated copper. And we're going to talk about 5G networks in a little bit here. So just hang in there. I know a lot of people have been asking about that. We make these health pens. They're called health pens. They were originally called pain pens. We like to call them health pens. But basically, they are twisted copper that has been nano-coated. And that means it has 45,000 layers of nano copper particles on it. So the molecular structure has been expanded. And we usually coat them with coconut oil to protect them from our DNA and our body imprint. Some people put them in containers. That's kind of the more common way that it's been done. But all we did is take one of these health pens we have and we set it over a glass of water in the freezer. This shows us the torus field that is made by this health pen. So it's why when we hold it up to our body, say we have an ache or a pain, it literally activates this movement of energy of the plasmatic fields so that they become more coherent. And this is one of my favorite pictures of all time that we've taken, just because looks just like an apple, and that's what that torus field looks like. And then again, on the back here, you can see where it twisted in order to make this. And we really see that commonly in our ice. And just to show you really quick, this is a Magrav power unit that the Keshe Foundation was making. I don't think they're making them right now, but they may again at some point in some other form. This is what we were making at some of our workshops. So this is what the copper coils look like before they're nano-coated and then they get stacked together. But what's really beautiful, this is one of the diagrams of how this metal-based nanotechnology works, which is available free on the keshefoundation.org website. This was a crop circle that got laid down a couple of years ago when everybody was making Magravs all over the world. And I believe this was a message saying that Magravs are right on. And so it's showing the three double circles, and then we've usually put containers of GANs around between them. So isn't this beautiful? So yeah, I've had a lot of questions. Can this plasma water station protect us from 5G? What's really exciting, we have so much going on in our world. And what I want to say about this really quickly is my book, 21st Century Superhuman Quantum Lifestyle, that's been out a few years, but we're just doing a launch of the 3rd edition, beautiful new cover. It's a 500-page book, so it's been divided into 4 smaller books. The first one is called Shift of the Ages. And now my husband, who has an amazing narrating voice, has read the book. So we were able to do a studio recording. And in the next couple of weeks, that is coming out in a 3rd edition with audios. And I'm really excited about that. So keep your eyes and ears open. But what I want to say is what we teach in that book is we are creators in this world. So if we're going to focus in fear, we're going to be living in that old matrix paradigm that's been around for thousands of years, suppressing, keeping humanity down because we were living outside of love, and that was our creation. So it's time for us to breathe, smile, and love. Tell our televisions to go stand in the corner, or other news media on our computers or cell phones or whatever, to go stand in the corner until it has something good to say. Because if we're going to be imprinting our minds with fearful ideas and it's terrible and ain't it awful, then that's the world we're going to be living in. So first of all, I want to call us forth to be creators in love. Let's see ourselves living in the new earth. Let's create the new earth now. We are in the great shift of the ages. That which is not of love and the greater light is in the process of disintegrating. It may not seem like it sometimes, it's holding on by its fingernails, but it is disintegrating. And as surely as day follows night, nothing is going to stop this new age coming. And we need to live as if we are in it now. Put beauty around us. Make a plasma oasis of our home. Make a plasma oasis of our thoughts and how we live and how we think and how we feel about our life and our world. There are many things going on in this miscreation that we are not excited about. We want to look beyond these things. What's really exciting is Dr. Paul, he's really a great alchemist, and he has been making formulas that are, you can see him holding a GANS formula, and it's got silver in it and Shungite. Shungite is a meteorite that landed in, or a meteorite that landed in Russia, a huge deposit of it, and you can get Shungite. I suggest everybody have Shungite in their home, but it has fullerenes in it, which are these six-sided molecules, and they have the effect of creating clear and positive structure, creating the right spin, and it's what C60 is made from. It's contained in a lot of powerful things. It's also contained in carbon, which is so important to a lot of the work that we do. Dr. Paul has made this beautiful GANS that is designed to be protective, and he also sets it and other things he creates in that pyramid you can see behind him, which is made according to the 3-6-9 ratio. These formulas he's making help create, instead of a left-hand spin, which is negative to life, which the EMFs, the 5G networks and all of that they create a right-hand spin, which is what is beneficial to all of life. So don't we want this in our world? Don't we want to set our world up so we are creating that right-hand spin? We're creating positive, life-giving electromagnetic fields, right? So one of the beautiful things that they have, and he's explaining here, I'm going to actually put the link to this video where he's explaining this under this video that you're watching right now. So in the description of the video, you'll find the link to this video of him explaining these. You can see Lynn and Paul, really they're coming more to life. I mean, he's about 78, he tells us in our other videos. They are just wonderful, amazing, brilliant, wise couple. So remember, you can use the 15% off carry coupon on these. Now, he has made a disc that you can stick on your cell phone. They all have the Shungite and the silver in them, the Shungite and silver GANs, and they have magnets, and they have gone under that pyramid. So they really have the capability of changing these fields. They also have, one of their formulas is called New Tech Frequency Relief. So it is a GANS made to support this as well. We have this in our home. We will be using that formula in our current orgonite that we make. So Amazonite pendant, which are for anxiety, arthritis, EMF relief, stress relief, Shungite and fluorite pendant, a Shungite pendant with rough cut lapis for electric breaker boxes, and even a nice little just plain Shungite pendant. So these are wonderful items that you can get and have in your home, have around you, utilize on a daily basis. So what I want to say is, yes, your basic water station will be protective, and getting a few of these extra things along with it, you can be potentizing your water station with these other items if you get them, and begin clearing the electrical fields. I like wearing them on my body, having something in front of my computer. We begin clearing and optimizing the fields around us. So this is one of our little organites we make. I also like to take, besides adding the plasma water to it, I take paper towel, dip it in our water station, hang it out on the line to dry, and snip it up in little pieces and add pieces, because remember, it has been measured. Post-it note, the plasma station water, the plastic vials, the paper pads have all been measured to have a field of about 30 feet. So it doesn't really matter what form. And again, I told this in the last video, a few years ago, we were putting balls of GANs in everything. And then we started putting this little gel that slightly dehydrated GANs in the Maghreb units. And then finally, they started just painting the dry GANs in a ball or in a container and adding it to the unit, and we're getting all the same results. So again, we need to learn to think beyond the matter state. We've got this matter state idea. Any form of this is going to give a really potent positive effect. So again, $100 off on the never-ending Plasma Energy Solution Basic Preparedness Kit, coupon 919 until November 11th. $237 for this offer. Remember, their price increase went up, so we're holding back the price increase for you guys. $337 was the price increase, so $237. Get it, share it with a couple of friends even if you need to. I really encourage everyone to have one of these in your home. The Basic Preparedness Kit Water Station, coupon 919. Additional vials, coupon CARRY, 15% off. PlasmaEnergySolution.com. And I think Lynn likes to be paid through PayPal. And if you can't pay through PayPal, she has a couple of alternatives where you can pay Great American Coin or Simply Clean Food and have some of that sent to them for the right amount. And then they send you your water station. So pretty cool if you need to pay in a different form. So on the website, Lynn explains how they make the pads and a ton of really great videos. Remember, it's snowing in Montana. They actually have more snow than this now. So once it is snowing in Montana, instead of sending glass vials in the US, they send 4 small plastic vials. This one lady wrote to them and said, I just want to show you how effective your plasma energy paper is. I've grown a few basil plants in my window over the years, and they grow okay indoors, but they've never looked this good before. The pictures were taken before and then 3 days after with plasma energy water. I can hardly wait to start my garden this year. Look how beautiful this picture the 3 days later looks. So the plastic winter vials, this is what they look like. They won't break in freezing weather. And the pads that are sent outside of the United States. And again, the pads are sent outside of the United States. This is the plasma first aid chart, and you can download this free at Dr. Paul and Lynn's site. I always handed this out when I was traveling. There's a wealth of information on here, so it's very worth downloading. It gives you a guide. And remember, your plasma energy station is going to have a lot of these in it already. If you feel like you need to make the different formulas, that's good. It's really almost not necessary since we have such complex station water and the body will take what it needs. This is a squash that I just grew in my garden. And what I want you to see is how beautiful. I have GANs, of course, in the garden, and I watered the garden with it, but I have bottles of it around the plants. Look how beautiful this formation is inside of here. I've had a lot of stories of people where GMO seeds with plasma added to the growing, the plants are reverting back to pre-GMO. They're reverting back to their original form. Look how gorgeous that is. And then this is a commercially grown squash of the same variety. Just look at the difference in that. Can you see the life force? Can you see that torus field in that white section? Can you see the vibration coming out in that? So again, we talked about what can I do with my plasma potentized water? Everything, anything you can do with water. Drink it, make coffee, tea with it, cook with it, make soup with it, pour it over yourself, spray it, breathe it, spray it. We love having spray bottles around our house. If you're spraying massage tables or you're spraying a room, you can add essential oils. We just have a bottle of plain plasma energy station water and we spray it and we breathe it in. We spray it over ourselves multiple times in a day. And it sits on top of our water energy station, but it can sit anywhere. So remember, this is not just water. It's a preparedness kit. Dr. Paul put 21 days worth of meals, took them and made plasma, made GANs out of them. We break them down with caustic so that it's kind of like the digestive process and then make a GANs out of it. And so that is part of the main water station, the main basic preparedness kit. And because Dr. Paul and Lynn are thinking in this way, what happens if the system shuts down? What happens if we can't get the food items that we need? And if we have a water station in our house, we have a hub that can serve ourselves, our families, our friends and neighbors. Just remember, there's a lot here that is power packed into this water station. You can make patches and you can write on the patch, pain relief, feed and nourish. And you can put different fabrics in there or paper towels. These are sealed with one of those heat sealers for freezing, which I love having and using, but just plain old Ziplocs will work as well. And remember, even when the patch dries out, you can put a little spoonful of water in there with your fabric. You can also let it dry out and it will still have that potency in it. You can give these as gifts. Give them to your grandma and have her put it in her chair where her back is aching, help change the lives of those around you. Again, showing the torus field that the pad creates when it's next to the body. And somebody wrote me and said, can I send a letter with my plasma water on it to someone in jail? Yes, of course. And think of Christmas cards, birthday cards, thank you notes, or writing to someone in jail. Even a Post-it note has been measured to have all the field strength of the station in it. And remember, if you don't want to hit the paper to look like you got it really wet and dunked it in there, you could get it wet and dunk it in there and let it dry and then write your letter. Or you can just take your spray bottle and spray it down and let it dry that way. Keep it really neat looking. So there's so many ways that we can share this plasma water and get it out into the world around us. One lady wrote me and said, I want to take plasma and put it on everybody's water lines coming into their house. Yeah, I mean, look, you can do this for your friends, your neighbors. If you have somebody who's interested in it, share it. That's what's really beautiful. You can share that plasma energy water station forever and ever. Somebody asked me about just burying little vials or setting bottles around the yard. Absolutely. Instead of doing the ping pong balls. The reason I like the ping pong balls is because the wind blows them. And a lot of times they'll spin in the wind, spin or move. So I feel like it's setting up more of a field that way. It's the reason I hang a bottle in the middle of the tripod they call it a star formation in the garden. And so I have a bottle of cans around the base of that three-legged pyramid, and then I have one hanging from the middle. That's a star formation. This is the hanging bottle here. Look at that nice plasma light coming through it, and another one at the base, and then there's two more at the bases of this. Creating a plasma oasis like Tom Salas did in Dominica, really important thing to do with our home. And this was a young man who was a taxi driver who brought us home and told us I had been getting treated for a year, going to the hospital and getting antibiotics and going to the doctor, and had a cough for a year and it wouldn't go away. And at the end of that year, he gets to us. We brought him home and gave him a bottle of our plasma water, and in 24 hours, he no longer had the cough. This is really amazing. And he just gave us another ride home the other day. Each time he comes, we give him more plasma water. He can't seem to keep it in the house. You know, it's like that idea of just keep a bottle next to your water station and they just drink it. He says, oh, somebody came along and drank it. He just gets more, but he loves it. He's really happy. We have been treating the dogs in our village with plasma water made into a formula with charcoal, tea tree oil, neem oil, and they've been getting well. So we have a lot of power that we can gift the world at our hands here just with these simple water stations. Remember, you can make your own GANs at home. It's a great experiment to do. Build beautiful plasma items for your home with your plasma water. Bring that special light into your house. And right after this, I'm going to show just a few little clips of Dr. Paul and Lynn talking about some of the really cool stories that they have about the plasma water station. Remember, this has been extended until November 11th. The Plasma at Home series is available to you only in this program and available free. The special report, which is going up as a book on Amazon, The Amazing Benefits of Plasma, and we have a big FAQ now, frequently asked questions. So place your order at plasmaenergysolution.com. $100 off coupon 919 is the coupon code for the plasma water station or basic preparedness kit. For additional items, do a second order and use the 15% off carry code. So we have this a 10-minute video on the special report, 6 amazing benefits of plasma, time-sensitive video part 1, and all of this can be found at 21stcenturysuperhuman.com/plasma at home. And we have our Q's and A's, enhancing your life with plasma, just a little 6-minute video, and our FAQ. 21st Century Superhuman, Plasma Revolution, Plasma at Home. Join our member classes soon at 21stcenturysuperhuman.com. So thank you all for being here. Stay on because I've got just a few little clips by Dr. Paul and Lynn that you can watch for a minute here. Remember, breathe, smile, and love. For by so doing, we change ourselves, and by changing ourselves, we change the world. Okay, we will see you soon, and get that plasma water going in your home, okay? Love you all bunches. Take care. Ciao.
Sometimes I get remarks of, oh, this is just make-believe stuff, or it's your imagination. But I heard from somebody who had a guinea pig, and she had received her plasma energy station in the mail. She was in a big rush, and Ella the guinea pig was 10 years old, was full of cancer, had a huge tumor. They were going to have her put to sleep. Well, Ella's owner put the plasma energy package on Ella's cage. And within several days, they noticed Ella was feeling a little better. When she wrote to me, it was a year later. Ella had no cancer, the tumor disappeared, and she's still running around like a young guinea pig, even though she's 10 years old. So when people want to give me a hard time about, well, this is all in your mind and make-believe, I just let Ella talk to them.
Good day. I'm Dr. Paul, and this is my beautiful wife, Lynn. And today we're going to talk about the plasma energy station, how we set it up, what's in it, and give you some information, some feedback that we have gotten from people who have used this plasma energy station for a year or two. So I'll let Lynn start with the introduction.
Okay, well, what we did with the plasma energy station, it was the very first thing that we really put together. And Paul had been making GANs for quite some time, and we reached a point where we're going, what are we going to do with all of it? So before I launch into that, would you show him what I mean by GANs with the jar that you have?
This is the GANs, which is gas in atomic nanosolid state. It's an acronym for what you see in this jar. This is water on top, and this is the part that we use is the water on top. And this powder in the bottom is like the battery that charges the water. It's a very fine powdery substance. You can see there how fine it is. And once that settles out, we just use the water that's on top, and it maintains its power for indefinitely. It's going to last a lot longer than you or I will. That's what the GANs is, and all of these vials alongside of this container are just the water from the top of many different GANs.
So what Paul had done is we have on this container, if you want to swing it out, Paul, and just show it, this is one of the original containers that we used, and used more of a tub type of thing. And as you can see, there's glass vials that have been placed down both sides of the container. They have different GANs in them that Paul had made, and we just decided to put all those energies together and see what happened with it. So that's what we started calling our never-ending plasma energy station. What we did with this was to drink the water from it, and our idea was that we would have certain things on hand if there was ever a disaster or a reason we weren't getting deliveries of food, medicine, and other things we're accustomed to getting just that day or within a day or two. So this was the beginning attempt of what would we do if we had to rely on this. So Paul and I decided to do an experiment and to see if we could just use this only as a replacement for everything we were used to using. And there are vitamins, there's minerals, there's metals, there's precious metals, gold and silver, there's herbs, there's roots, there's actually food. We took the meals, a tiny portion of meals that we had for 21 days and froze them. And then when he was ready to do this, he put all that food in a blender and broke it down, and then put it in water. In the process, he uses with a caustic to break everything down, and that breakdown takes a while to do. This was the culmination of quite a few months' work. Wouldn't you say it was probably at least 4 or 5 months?
Yes, at least.
So we decided, okay, we're going to see how this works. we decided to try to go 10 days and do the plasma energy station water only. And we're using the water, just as an aside, with everything we do, whether it's coffee, tea, drinking water, water for soup, water for other cooking, boiling your pasta in it, whatever we're cooking. If Paul's going to make some beans in the pressure cooker, we're going to use the station water. So we're adding that to everything we do. So the long story made short is we got into 3 days and we were doing okay with it. We would sit down and treat it like a regular meal and put our water in a glass and bless it and drink it. And neither of us had a shortage of energy. There were no headaches. We weren't cranky. There was no dizziness. But I'll tell you what we missed. And that's the social aspect and the social conditioning we all have around food. And it was smelling food, chewing food, the preparation of food. So that was a little weird for us. About 3 days into the experiment, we were invited to a family dinner at our son's house. So we went off our plan and had a regular meal. And in the process, we said, wow, it's kind of nice to have a dish meal. And of course, our son said, what are you guys doing? So he was here the next day to find out exactly what we were doing and find out a little more of what's the stuff Dad is doing in the spare room back there. So we continued on for the 10 days and we ended up with 3 dish meals. And that was pretty good. We were satisfied that if we needed to supplement with the water, it would work just fine. Do you want to add anything to that, Paul?
While we were doing that, I remember that I didn't have any hunger pangs at all. And I fasted before, and it's difficult after a few days because you really get the hunger pangs, and sometimes you get headaches and blurred vision and low blood sugar and all these things. But I didn't have any of those symptoms at all because we were drinking plenty of water from the plasma energy station. And I just remember that it was, it felt good. It didn't feel like I was deprived of anything at all.
So that's how we initially started using the station. And yes, we do eat meals at this point in time since everything's available to us, but we always incorporate the plasma energy water in everything we're cooking and with what we're drinking. And in addition to making a plasma energy station, as you've seen with the tub and the vials placed around it, you can also do it. This is a large glass iced tea dispenser. And what I have on here is a single large vial of the water out of this station, which has changed the water without having to have all the separate vials on it. And I would say that it's very convenient to have something with a spigot because you're going to use it more often than if you have something you decide to place in an out of the way area of the kitchen or utility room, and you may not go to it as often as if you have something sitting right on your kitchen counter. What I recommend for setting up your plasma energy station, you can use good quality spring water, you can use good quality well water, you can use filtered water, you can use distilled water, you can use structured water, and you're going to want to use a clear glass or clear plastic container. And you'll see, even though this has an opaque lid, it's clear it's translucent into the container part. And you don't want to use a solid plastic color container or crockery or stainless steel. The plasma energy is not going to work with that. Now,
Come on, everyone. everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the sun. I can see it when I look into your eyes. We are the same, and we are light, and we are one. And we can make a difference. Yeah, we can be the change it takes to make the world a lot more